rain keeps falling down. Sounds funny to be talking about rain with a big panoramic roof with the sunlight coming through, but that's been the story. And there's even been talk of this might be another year like the Great Flood of 1993. But who knows? That's to be seen. I don't have my usual camera set up. I'm in a different car, and the car is, I believe, a 2019 Ford Edge. Front-wheel drive, not all-wheel drive, but it's a Platinum, which means it has technology that I've just been beginning to explore. I have this car for a couple of days while the Boo Boo 2 is in the shop. As you may remember, the missus had a little Boo Boo in the Boo Boo 2. She clashed fenders with a car at an intersection, being distracted, I guess. I don't know. Who knows? I don't even know if it was her fault or his fault or what. The claim was it was her fault, but anyway, I'm driving this Ford Edge, and I did a little bit of a review of it in the driveway, but now that I've driven it a couple of days, I think I might talk a little more about it. Yes, I'm still trying to get over a cold I've had forever. But as you can see, this car has pretty much everything. I guess that's what platinum means. Platinum being a high value metal. And so, yeah, has everything. And some of the technology that I've been exploring is this, what do they call it? Active cruise control. So what it does is the car tries to keep you in your lane. So as you're driving and you have this cruise control on, it'll sense where the lane is, and the steering wheel will kind of like gently nudge you into where it thinks the middle of the lane is. And I sometimes disagree, but I are old, so maybe the car is right and I'm wrong. I think a lot of people might either like or turn that feature off. I guess if you're kind of sleepy or distracted, it helps. But I've noticed that you got to be careful with it. It's not like it's autonomous. I have played around with taking my hand off the wheel, and I think after about 15 seconds of that, the car sends a little message on the dash, hey, put your hands on the wheel, something to that effect. But it's kind of interesting. The day of the driverless car will come sooner than we think, I think. But it also has one thing that I appreciate, and that's and I think it really is useful, is the active part of the active cruise control is it will sense the car in front of you and will slow down and speed up accordingly, which is really kind of nice. But I sort of think the distances are maybe, I are old and conservative. Distances may be a little bit too tight for my. But I've also been driving a lot in the rain, and maybe that, they say you shouldn't use cruise control in the rain, so maybe that's a factor. There's sensors all around the car that I've noticed. But I haven't tried to see if this thing will parallel park itself. Probably. I mean, it doesn't quite parallel park itself, but you know what I mean. And yeah, and the panoramic sunroof. Actually, let me get a little more road noise here. Oop. Oh, and that's another thing. You can turn this part off, but the car, in order to save gas, when you stop, turns itself off, and then when you take your foot off the brake, it turns itself on. You see the look on my face. I'm dubious about that kind of technology because it probably does increase the mileage a little bit, but I think it also increases wear and tear, and it's just another thing to break down, and maybe the savings in mileage Plus, while you're sitting at a light, oh, there it goes. I didn't have the brake all the way down. But while you're sitting at a light, I think a lot of stuff is running, like, electric and everything. So it's kind of wearing on your battery. I don't know. The jury's out on that one, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know what other people have. That's the thing about all this technology. Automated this or that. It's more stuff to break down, more complexity. I don't know. I'm wishing I could go back to the old days, I guess, where I had a stick shift. One of the first cars that I've driven had a 3. It was a 3 on the tree, 3-speed on the column, and it was a pickup truck. Didn't have manual steering, or it had manual steering, and it was a stick shift, a slant 6 Dodge. And what else could I say about this car? It's really nice. Has a good ride. It's not rough truck-like. I don't see an all-wheel drive badge on the tailgate, so I assume that if they don't say it, it doesn't have it. So it's more or less, it's a car that's built more upright, like a truck, SUV kind of thing. And I don't know. There's a lot of room inside it. That's one advantage of that, I guess. There's plenty of leg room in the back seat, and huge cargo area. So yay for efficiency and design. Took many, many years for Americans to get there, but we finally gotten there. Oh, and I have to admit, I'm guilty of being one of these people who doesn't consider American cars very seriously, because I used to be a dedicated, diehard, buy American, rah-rah. But I kind of got burned by that, by too many American products being kind of not as good as their competition by a long shot. I mean, some of my main issues are rust. Oh, and transmissions. All manufacturers seem to have problems with their transmissions. Even with some of the foreign ones, but not so much. And just the same crappy thing from year to year to year. Like, some of my pet peeves with Ford, which I haven't found in this car, by the way. This car is pretty new. It's like got less than 8,000 miles on it. But some of the pet peeves are like Ford engines. They seem to struggle going up hills. And I can tell you that every Ford I'd ever driven seemed to have that problem. From a 1970s Ford all the way up to the modern Fords. Maybe that's not so much anymore. Maybe they've kind of done something to fix that. But let's see, what other things don't I like about Fords? Exploding gas tanks. They seem to have problems with gas tanks that explode. And the car just shut itself off again. And you think they would get over that, except and they kept doing the same thing with the lawsuits, like they would barbecue their customers and then try and cover it up because it would be cheaper to let customers die and suffer and then sue you than to fix the original problem. I believe GM has had problems with that too. It's like lawyers designing cars instead of people designing cars. Yeah, things like that. I mean, things that just carry over from year to year to year, like these large corporations, they never seem to learn. And like Chryslers. I don't like Chryslers because they have problems with their transmissions. There's no excuse for a car to go anywhere near under 100,000 miles and have the major transmission problems that Chrysler has. And this has been a forever thing. Like, every car you could buy from a Chrysler you know you're going to have an issue with the transmission someday. So you know what customers finally did? This customer finally did? Said, screw you to Chrysler. I'll never buy a Chrysler. Tired of it. Tired of it year after year after year. And so, you know, there's things like this that make me want to not buy domestic American cars. But here's another thing that I've considered with American cars. A lot of American cars, their parts are made, like a lot of bodies are made in Canada. A lot of engines have been made in Brazil, you know, parts from all over the world. And a lot of the Toyotas and Nissans and Hondas I've been looking at, and Subarus, look at where they're manufactured here in the United States with American workers. You know, American manufacturers have often complained about the quality of American workers and how much it costs to have American workers put their cars together, so we have to go overseas. Why doesn't that apply to Toyota, Honda, Nissan, all these other manufacturers that seem to be able to do it? And not only do they do it really well. They build their cars here and export them all over the world. You know, I don't think there's a problem with the workers or anything else like that. I think there's been a big problem in America with the corporate culture and the corporate attitudes. And that's why so many jobs are going out in this country, because of the greed and the fact that a lot of companies just want to they want to make their bottom line more than anything else. They don't want to manufacture cars anymore. They don't want to do anything. They just want to make money for their investors. And as long as that's the driving force, and the only driving force, then, you know, America will never be great again. And so, end of rant. And you thought you were going to get a review of a Ford Edge. By the way, I do like the car. I think it's a pretty good car. I don't know how reliable it is over time, and that's the biggest factor for me. You know, other than all the other factors that, you know, they're all secondary. The biggest factor is how reliable is it? And when it does break, because everything does break eventually, how hard or how expensive is it going to be to fix? Because, you know, as a car gets older, it's going to be less and less likely that you're going to fix things that break. Because if the cost of fixing a car costs more than buying a new one or a different car, then you're going to buy a different car, you know. We're kind of facing that with our Honda Odyssey. We're starting to look around for other cars to buy. So it's good that we got a chance to test drive this one and give us something to think about. So anyway, I've arrived at my destination. So it's time for coffee. Stormy weather. Yeah, since I have to go to work early in the morning, as always, my storm chase is like here at the house, but I got some helpers. It's kind of funny to watch. Here's my junior team of storm chasers.
May I please have the iPad?
No, it's busy.
Okay. She wants to do what it's doing.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I got to go outside and get the plug in for it.
Oh, no, you get it.
So how are our tornadoes doing? Are they here yet?
No, not likely, because we're not on that one.
Oh. Alright.
But there is going to be a tornado.
And Luke is learning his ABCs.
Tornado in Oklahoma.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of tornadoes in Oklahoma. you doing? Tired. Just getting off wake. It's been a long one tonight, this morning, today. Well, we were doing a virtual storm chase, which was kind of fun with the kiddos yesterday, and I think they were, two of them were kind of enjoying it. Well, three of them were sort of enjoying parts of it and kind of getting secretly educated, which was nice. But we all went to bed, and I get up and come in and find out that tornadoes kind of ravaged parts of Missouri. The state capitol got hit last night, about midnight. Jefferson City got hit pretty hard. So it's been a lot of intense, this is one of those days that test people in the news business, and we got tested and I think we did all right. But I'm tired, so I'm gonna go home, go to bed. Thank God for the technology in this car. It's gonna keep me on the road straight. Ha ha ha. No, I'll pay attention. Woohoo! It's Thursday. We've made it to Hobby Hill Park. There's Luke. How you doing up there, Luke? Yeah, you don't have to go all the way up if you're not happy with it. Here comes Saya. Oh, that's not Saya.
You do? Okay, but you have to go climb up.
I don't know where Saya went. There's Zach. What you doing, Zach? What's that, Saya? Hey. And there's the dongs. Right, dogs? What's up? What's up, pups? Woof woof. All right, sit down.
So we're supposed to see your mom today, but unfortunately, as I was driving here,
Jimmy was fine.
she said that no. I said, Megan, we're heading to the park. Will you be able to make it today? And she said no. Can we do FaceTime instead? And I said, what did you say? No FaceTime? And she said, I told her they're in the park now. And she said, if we cannot do FaceTime, tomorrow would be probably be better because I'm not feeling well.
Yeah, but unfortunately, we're sort of planning a trip. We're sort of planning.
This is the third time she...
Yeah, we're planning a trip tomorrow.
So I told her I will get back to you because I'm not sure what Steve is planning tomorrow. And she said, okay, I'm fading out of consciousness. Tell the babies I love them. We'll talk to them. Unfortunately, I'm too ill today. So she does this all the time.
All right, that's good.
No.
All right.
Okay, she might be sick.
Did you tell her that I'm sick?
Yeah, you're sick too.
Right. You're sick too, but you're here.
All right. Volleyball.
Volleyball.
Taking everyone for a spin in the car, and we come to this place to have a little bite to eat before we go to bed tonight. It's Thursday.